Dad, don't come to my wedding, okay? Suddenly, good news came into my ordinary life. My daughter is getting married. There had been many hardships, but I had raised my daughter with love. And now she told me face to face that I could not attend the ceremony. On top of that, I came to know a shocking truth. No more sympathy from me. If it's come to this, I'll push her to the limit. My name is Michael. I work a position at a well-known company, providing for my family every day. Days no excitement, but I live a relatively peaceful life. One day, in the midst of my ordinary day, I received happy news. My daughter, Jonna, is getting married. However, my relationship with Jonna was a bit complicated. That's because Jonna isn't my biological daughter. Jonna is my wife Stella's child from a previous relationship. At that time, Jonna was just 7 years old, a well-behaved child despite her young age. On the day we started living together, Jonna smiled and said, "Please take care of me from today." Dad. Ahaha, the pleasure is all mine. But you don't have to call me Dad if you don't want to, okay? But Mom said, if Jonna truly feels okay about calling me Dad, then you can call me that when you're ready. Until then, Uncle is fine. Or even Big Brother. Got it, Uncle. Nice to meet you. Haga, Uncle it is then. It was about half a year later when Jonna started calling me Dad. At that time, I was so happy and I cried. Life was good with a loving wife, Stella, and a dear daughter surrounding me. But it seems such happiness wouldn't last forever. This started when Jonna entered middle school. One morning during the weekend, I went to the living room and saw Jonna watching TV by herself. Hoping to enjoy some family time after a while, I sat a bit away from her on the sofa and tried to strike up a conversation. Jonna, this show seems popular lately. Is it trending at school? Maybe. Oh, I know. Since it's our day off, how about we go out to eat as a family for lunch? Huh. Well, I heard there's a new restaurant nearby. I'm not interested. Then. Jonna stood up abruptly and left the living room with an indifferent attitude. I felt pathetic and quite shocked by this cold behavior, unlike anything before. Did I do something to Jonna? Or was she just in a bad mood? At that time, I told myself it was just a coincidence. But, the next day and beyond, Jonna's attitude did not change. Driven by anxiety, I decided to discuss this with my wife. Hey, Stella, do you think Jonna hates me? What's up with you all of a sudden, Haga? Did something happen? No. It's just, she's been kind of cold since starting middle school. Really? She seems normal to me. Is it just me then? Did I do something to upset her? Then my wife, after thinking for a moment, said to me with a huff, Michael, it's probably just her going through a rebellious phase. Rebellious phase? Yay, probably puberty and rebellion hitting at the same time. It'll settle down eventually, won't it? I hope so. Is that really a thing? Especially with girls. It can't be helped. Bet not to worry too much about it. I guess you're right. Reassured by my wife, I decided to take it as Jonna will return to her old self eventually. However, a year later, even my wife started treating me harshly. Michael, you've been smelling bad lately. Are you bathing properly? Then. I am. I always take a bath last, and I even clean the tub after I'm done. I hate the idea of sharing a bath with someone as greasy as you. Stella turned to Jonna in the same room and asked, Right, Jonna? Jonna agreed with a disgusted face. That's right. I don't want you to go near me because you stink. And don't ever wash them with Dad's underwear. I know, right? I hate it too. Seriously, how long do I have to be in the same space with this person? Just breathing the same air for 3 seconds makes me nauseous. Yeah, I feel sick too. How about we go out, just the two of us, right now? Really? Yay. I love you, Mom. So, Michael, you're on house duty. Make sure you finish all the cleaning and laundry, okay? With that, Stella and Jonna left the room. Ever since then, whenever they go out, it's always without me. They must be bad-mouthing me together. Sometimes, Stella dresses up and sneaks out alone. Who knows what she's up to? I have no clue. This situation has continued for years. Time passed, and when Jonna turned 25, one day she suddenly said, "Dad, I'm getting married." Married? I didn't even know she had a boyfriend. So, my daughter is at that age now. Reflecting on our history, I indulged in sentiment for a moment. "Congratulations on your marriage, Jonna. What's he like?" "Huh. That's none of your business." Giving in to my distant daughter, I barely managed to keep the conversation going. "But there'll be a meet and greet, right?" I told him my dad is too busy with work. "What? As a father, I should at least greet him properly." Just so you know, don't come to the wedding, okay?" Then. I couldn't believe my ears at her words. What did she just say? Don't come to the wedding. Even though I'm her father. Trying to suppress my agitation, I somehow managed to find my words. "What's wrong with you? It's not right that a father can't attend his daughter's wedding." "Huh? Father? Don't make me laugh. I don't want to introduce a filthy old man like you as my father." "A filthy old man? We've been living together as a family." "Gross. You're not even my real dad. Don't act like you're a part of the family." As I was at a loss for words from my daughter's harshness, my wife joined in. "That's right, Tommy and Jonna, you're just an ATM." "ATM? What? Only realizing now. The reason I married you was because of your high income from a good company, haha." "Oh, no, you've got to be kidding me. We've been married for 20 years. Will you stop it? It's disgusting. Maria is going to marry a man who works for a better company than you do. If Maria gets her way, I won't have to stay with you anymore." "What's that supposed to mean? You thought of me like that. If someone like you came to the wedding, it would ruin the whole event. If you care about Jonna at all, don't come to the wedding, okay? Got it." Faced with this cold reality so suddenly, I couldn't find any more words to say. Eager to escape this space as soon as possible, I secluded myself in my room. Since then, the two of them have treated me even more harshly, as if I were something filthy. I became afraid to face them, and my time spent at home was reduced to the bare minimum. Then, one day, as I was holed up in my room as usual, I overheard a conversation between my daughter and wife. "Hey, Mom, he's locked up in his room again today. It's so creepy." Well, it's better than having him in our sight. He's probably just lazily sleeping." True, not having to see his filthy face is a relief. But he's really not coming to the wedding, right? We told him off strongly, so it should be fine. Don't worry. I hope so. By the way, is the other dad okay? Will he definitely come? Listening in, I was speechless at my daughter's words. Did she just say dad? What does that mean? I thought I was the dad. Then, my wife said something unbelievable. "It's fine, he's got his schedule open. But good for you. Your real father will be at your wedding." Yay. It's been years since I last saw Dad. I hardly remember him, but he'll probably be so happy about my wedding. Of course, it's his biological daughter getting married. He'll be thrilled. And to think, even the non-biological one was so foolishly happy. Knowing nothing, like an idiot, haga. If it's that Dad, we can expect a nice gift too. He's made a success of his company, right? Impressive. He's been featured in the news online. When I met my dad the other day, I was so surprised. He looked so slender and handsome, like an actor. He's so different from someone bald, smelly, and with a big belly. Really, how did our man end up so different from him? From now on, let's all three of us meet often with my real dad. At that moment, I felt something inside me break. I see, so that's what it was. They were trying to keep me away to invite the biological father to the wedding. And it seems they've been meeting him frequently without me knowing. Well, fine. If that's how they want it, I have plans of my own. And so, I decided to take revenge for being treated as an ATM all these years. After conducting all necessary investigations and once everything had settled, I confronted them with the news. I won't be attending the wedding. And I'm leaving this house. Jonna jumped up and down with joy, saying, "Really? Awesome. The wedding is next week, right? I'll leave on that day. I thought you were just a creepy old man, but you're surprisingly understanding. Lucky us." My wife and daughter are cackling with excitement and seem to be really looking forward to my leaving. Ignoring the two of them, I quickly started packing and preparing to leave. On the day of the wedding, as I was loading my stuff into the car, ready to leave, Stella and John approached me with smirks on their faces. "So, you're finally leaving. It's Jonna's wedding day. What a joyous occasion. Really, what a perfect day. I'm leaving as you wished. Are you happy now? What, we're having a last conversation and that's how you react? Oh, make sure you file the divorce papers, okay? Disgusting to the end. Just get lost, old man. We're busy. Yay. Goodbye." Ignoring their mocking smiles, I got into my car. I knew I would never return to this house again. A few hours later, I had just settled into my new apartment when I received a phone call asking me to come to the wedding venue immediately. Well, I had somewhat anticipated this might happen. Honestly, I never wanted to see my wife and daughter again. But today was the perfect stage for the revenge I had been waiting for. All right, let's go. I drove off towards the wedding venue. Upon arrival, as expected, there was trouble brewing. Why is the engagement off? This is absurd. I can't accept this. Hey, explain yourself. The sound of Jonna's yelling echoes through the hallway. As I slowly opened the door, there were Jonna in her wedding dress, Stella, Jonna's fiancé, his parents, and grandparents, and then, a completely unfamiliar man. He must be the real father. As I entered the room, Stella and Jonna's eyes widened in shock. "What? You old jerk, why are you here?" "Because I was invited." "Invited? That can't be true." "It's true. I was invited by your fiancé's grandfather." "What?" Indeed, the person who had called me was the grandfather of Jonna's fiancé, a man who had greatly helped me when I was just starting out in my career. Grandfather. I've met with Mr. Foster several times a year even now, but I never imagined that Foster's grandson would be your fiancé. This makes no sense. How could you two be connected like this? Then Mr. Foster, who had been listening quietly, began to explain to Jonna. Well, I was surprised at first, too. When I heard that Michael's daughter was getting married, I asked him about it because it was at the same time as my grandson's wedding. Then I realized that it was my grandson's bride-to-be. I knew there was a connection between me and Michael. No way. Ignoring Jonna's pale face, Mr. Foster continued. I knew beforehand that Michael wasn't invited to the wedding. You told him not to come, right? So, I informed my grandson in advance. It's up to him to decide, but I wanted him to rethink whether marrying someone who would say that to their parent was the right choice. That's. Then, Jonna's fiancé took over the conversation. Yay, my grandfather had told me everything beforehand. I wanted to believe in you, so if your foster father had properly attended the wedding, I would have married you as planned. But the man here today was someone my grandfather didn't even know. Glancing at the other supposed father, the fiancé continued, I cannot marry a woman who disrespects her foster father. I hereby declare our engagement broken off right here. Bro, broken off. Jonna turned pale at the groom's words. Please, don't say we're breaking off the engagement. It's already decided. I never thought you were someone who doesn't value family this much. It's not like that. This man isn't family. Not family. After 20 years of raising you. What are you talking about? Thanks to Michael, you've been able to live this long, haven't you? How cruel, so cruel. Jonna broke down in tears, having been told the engagement was off. Then Stella started making desperate excuses. Wait a minute. This man who came today is Jonna's biological father. Don't you think the real father should be present at his daughter's wedding? Amidst the silence, I reluctantly responded, I married you and became Jonna's father. There's no blood relation, but I've raised her as my real daughter. So what? It's her wedding. Isn't it better for her biological father to be here? Yay, I agree. But that's if he really was her blood-related father. Pointing at the man called the real father, he awkwardly looked away from me. He is her real father. Truly blood-related. As Stella hurriedly exclaimed, I smirked slyly. Huh. That's strange. What? I had a detective agency look into it, and isn't he just your affair partner? That's seemingly the only Stella knew this fact. Jonna, who had been crying, confronted her mother. What does that mean? It's not like that. Everyone, don't misunderstand. This man really is Jonna's father. Mom, you introduced that man to me as your real dad, right? Gee, Jonna. I might have been young when my real father left, but I still remember his face faintly. Sure, this man looks similar to Dad. That's why I believed I was finally meeting my real dad again. But to find out he's a completely different person, and actually Mom's affair partner. That's why I'm telling you he's not just an affair partner. Do you have proof? So, how would you explain this then? I took an envelope from my bag and scattered its contents. They were numerous photos proving Stella's affair with the man. How could you have these? I had them investigated. Not only deceiving your daughter and her real father, but also having an affair. You're the lowest. No, not that. Wait. Forgive me. Huh. How can I forgive you? You abused me and treated me like an outsider, and yet I raised your daughter as if she were my real family. And then, how can I forgive you for betraying me like this? I'm sorry. I apologize. So please, stop. Shut up. I will never forgive you. Understand. I'll be sure to demand alimony from you. Thinking you could be happy after all this, you're delusional. You should regret what you've done for the rest of your life. With those final words, I left the wedding venue. Afterward, Jonna's engagement was officially broken off. Various rumors spread through mutual friends, and it seems all her close friends have since distanced themselves. Rumors spread at Jonna's company as well, leading her to resign since she no longer had a place there. Of course, I proceeded with the divorce from Stella. With ample evidence of her affairs, she had no ground to refuse. After demanding alimony from Stella and her affair partner, the latter paid up and then disappeared from her life. Stella's plan to remarry and be supported failed miserably, and now she supposedly spends her days working various part-time jobs. Understandably, Stella was also disowned by Jonna for her deception. Thus, my family was utterly dismantled. In the end, those who didn't value family faced a fitting fate. It's nothing but poetic justice. As for me, surprisingly, I'm thoroughly enjoying my bachelor life. Now that the salary I used to spend on my wife and daughter is mine to use freely, I recently started keeping a dog. All right, Thomas. Today we're going on a long walk. Bark. I've made a happy fresh start with my new family member, my beloved dog Thomas. From now on, I plan to enjoy my own time.